Hi everyone, this is Jayprakash Sahu from BigMint. Today we have very special guest, Mr. Zain Nathani, Managing Director from Nathani Group Industries. Thank you, Zain sir, for joining us in BigMint podcast in India Ferris Week 2025. It's a pleasure to have you here. Can you please tell us more about you personally, how you started? I was reading somewhere in LinkedIn and some places you started from Bain and Company,
right,
as a management consultant.
Correct.
You worked there for 3 years.
Yeah.
You joined your family business in Nathani Group of Industries, and since last 20 years, you are associated with this recycling business. How do you see your journey, your personal journey?
Sure, right. I grew up in Mumbai in a family business environment. I'm third generation in the world of steel and scrap recycling. My grandfather founded this business in 1952. So I've always grown up in a business environment related to manufacturing, related to steel and scrap recycling. I went to the US to study for my undergraduate in finance, and thereafter, as you mentioned, got a job with Bain and Company in management consulting in New York City. I was with them for 3 years, and then at some point in 2006 it was, when I started having some serious discussions with my father on what should be the next step in terms of my business, life ahead in my business journey. And India was at a very interesting time at that point. I think till early 2000s, almost from the 70s till early 2000s, people like me used to go abroad to study and then not come back, or want to do further education out there and then see where life takes them. That was the general drain taking place from India. But I think around 2002, 2003 is when the Indian economy really started showing quite a bit of promise. The Indian economy started showing a good pathway ahead. People were excited what the future would hold. And in 2006, I was studying and living in the US and working out there. And I said, okay, why not come back and see what either the family business is all about, come back and see where the Indian journey takes me. So I decided to pack up my bags in New York and move back to India. I got back on, I think, August first week in 2006, and August second week I was in office. Started shadowing my father for almost 6 months. He took me for all types of meetings, whether it was laborers, whether it was recyclers, buyers, suppliers. I just shadowed him to learn and understand a little more about doing business in India, because it's especially back then it was not for everybody. So I had to see whether my temperament and my style of professionalism and my style of work ethic fitted with the Indian situation. So I took those 6 to 9 months to really understand more about myself in terms of the Indian context of doing business out here, myself in terms of whether I want to do the family business and continue working with it. That's when I moved back in 2006. Those were the early days.
Before going to the serious discussion about scrap and recycling market, I just wanted to ask a simple question. What is the one activity nowadays which is keeping you more excited apart from the work? Yeah.
So I love to do things outside work. My wife and I both are quite into fitness. We love working out. We like being healthy. We also are quite social. We like to travel, like to catch up with friends. Those are all things that, which have a nice meaning place in our life today. We have 2 children as well. So family time, spending time with them, traveling, seeing new places, discovering new things. Those are things that sort of excite me and, look forward to outside of the usual work of recycling and scrap.
Quite interesting. The family is the most priority.
Absolutely.
So if I talk about, everybody, whether he is in a business side or he's working in any company, we always hold a dream. That makes us go forward with a great energy. I always see you with great energy. There is a kind of persona you are carrying. You sit in the session to meet people one-to-one. I just wanted to know, what is your live stream?
Sure.
And are you really working about it? Asking beyond your professional achievements. Yeah.
Right. Look, I think we've all been in this, business long enough, and by the grace of, God, we've all been doing well successfully in the industry. So our life's goals don't necessarily need to be linked today to our professional goals, as you rightly mentioned. Today for me, it's more important to sleep well at night, to learn new things, to take on more risk opportunities which excite me, not only personally but also professionally. That could be traveling to a new place, that could be exploring a new business opportunity, that could be investing in young entrepreneurs and guiding them and mentoring them. So these are things that sort of generally I like to do and enjoy, outside work as well.
Actually, sir, I mean, just one dream. I mean, where with the time, I mean, if I can say next 5 to 10 years,
Right.
or in 15 years, you want to reach over there.
Right.
I mean, do you have that kind of thought? Or
I mean, look, at the end of the day, I have grown up in a family business environment. The family business goals and ethos of the company are well ingrained in me as well. My grandfather started with nothing, like a lot of Indian entrepreneurs in the 50s. That business was further grown by my father and his brothers. And therefore, I also want to leave a legacy for the next generation to make sure that, our business continues growing forward. Whether that means exploring new opportunities, double down on investing in India, diversifying the business. Those are all things that I'm working towards and, trying to convert those dreams into reality from a business perspective as well. But at the same time, I'm a very conscious person in terms of business goals are not the only thing important for me. Being a good person, having good relationships with people, with your suppliers, with your buyers. You spend so much time in conferences and in so much time on phone calls with your customers and suppliers. So developing good bonds and relationships with them, friendships with them over the last 20 years, those are things also which for me are very important.
Great. You tell us more about Nathani Group of Industries. What is the vision? In which sectors you are operating?
Sure.
What is the scale of operation?
Sure.
Revenue or anything you want to share?
Sure. I will go back to only my father's time. He's the one that really grew the business in the 90s and 2000s. My father, Zain Nathani, is also the founding president of MRAI, Material Recycling Association of India. Back then was Metal Recycling Association of India. He founded it with the vision to sort of get all Indian recyclers together under the same roof and to really pitch to the government as one voice on what the Indian recycle industry stands for and what we believe in and what we can take things forward. A lot of that is part of the Nathani Group as well. We really want to, work hard in the recycling space and make a name for ourselves out there, which hopefully we have. We also are very involved in the main line of businesses in ferrous recycling. We are brokers, we're traders, we're indenters. We've also entered into domestic recycling in the last 2 years. We have our own yard now outside Bombay as well, where we're processing domestic scrap. If you personally ask me, I think the next phase of our growth as a company is going to come from the domestic side. There are tremendous opportunities in domestic recycling that I see, whether it's not only in ferrous side, but also in tires, RVSFs, paper, plastic, batteries. I think there's a huge opportunity in the recycling industry in India to really grow this business, and entrepreneurs like myself are going to take advantage of those opportunities that come. Last year, as a group, we sold about 1.5 million tons of ferrous scrap into India and Bangladesh. Bangladesh is a big buying market for us as well. We work exclusively with Radius Recycling, which is a US-based company, recently bought over by Toyota Tsusho of Japan. And we built relationships with these suppliers over the last 15-20 years. We built relationships with these buyers of ours over the last 10-15 years. So ever since I've come back, an area I've been focusing on is really expanding the bike sales department, and that means working with Radius, selling to new markets like Bangladesh, selling to new customers in India, and that's been my focus and growth. We do have a very good team, of course, based in Mumbai as well. It supports me, and they're looking at new avenues, as I said, domestic recycling, not only in ferrous, but also in other products.
Great. You mentioned, I think 2006, I think you were shadowing with your father to join the scrap business or recycling business. Can you recall that time when you concluded first deal of your life? How was the feeling? I mean, I just wanted to understand or wanted to know. How it feels.
A great question. You're making me go down memory lane, but I'll always remember my first customer. It was Musco, now Sanyo Steel, but in Khopoli, but that time it was Mahindra Eugene Steel Company. It was owned by the Mahindra Group, and they make specialty and alloy steel. It's still based out of Khopoli, Maharashtra. And I remember my father sending me to close my first containerized shredded scrap deal with them, with the managing director. I sat down in the commercial head and we closed our deal. And I actually then landed up spending 8 days at their plant to just understand of how scrap is used in the steel plant also. They were kind enough to host me in their staff quarters in the hostel at which they had in the plant. I was there for 8 days. So I not only sold my first deal, but I spent 8 days in the plant learning about how steel is made, learning how scrap is processed. And that was, in 2006 at some point.
A lot of people which are not directly associated with recycling, they see it like it's just a business of buying old scrap or new scrap and just selling it.
Right.
Is how they perceive the recycling industry. As an industry person, sir, if I ask you, what is the most crucial thing they miss, and what is the actual reality of this industry?
Right. So I think that question can be answered in many different levels. It depends how you interpret it. But I'll take it from the point of view that, look, in any business today, whether it's selling cars, selling homes, selling steel, that's your product. But I think it depends a lot more on just your product. Today's day and age where, back in the day, if you ask someone what was your unique strength of this industry, it used to be like, oh, I have contacts with this person, I have contacts with that person. Pricing was very opaque. You didn't know who suppliers were, you didn't know who buyers were. There's a very opaque dark market. Today, everything's available. I mean, BigMint has disrupted the market very well, where all information is available to everyone. And in the most positive way, I say that. So then what really drives us, what is our unique strength? What really drives us to make this the important thing that differentiates us in our business of recycling? And in my opinion, it comes down to relationships. It comes down to trust. It comes down to relationships. This is also a business that does have a dark side where you can cheat people easily. You can sell bad grades of scrap. You can get advance payments and run away. So let's not run away from that. There is a small percentage of people in this trade that also do these unethical things. So to really keep your reputation for the last 75 years as Nathani Group, to make sure that we are treating all our suppliers fairly, to make sure we are selling good quality material consistently to our customers, that takes decades to build. So for me, those relationships that we've built on over the last many years is what is the key secret sauce in our industry that keeps things going. Meeting our good customers at conferences like this, talking to people about it. That's the key thing about the secret sauce from a business perspective. From an industry perspective, I think you're doing so much more on a higher level. In a very simple one-state line, I mean, you are helping save the world, you're helping save the planet's resources. The goal that us recyclers are playing in terms of carbon emissions, in terms of green steel, in terms of meeting India's targets of net zero by 2070, we're playing a very crucial role. Let's not underplay our role out here. So from a large macro point of view, I think recycling industry is playing a crucial role. And if we are very serious about reaching a $5 trillion economy and the targets set by the government of India and by our Honorable Prime Minister, it can't be done without circular economy. It can't be done without the recycling industry.
We discussed about your first deal. From 2006 to now 2025, there has been a lot more changes.
Sure.
You rightly mentioned this industry evolved from opaqueness to now almost quick transparency which has came up.
Right.
Many agencies like BigMint, PRAs, conferences, networking has gone up. I mean, if I ask you as a trader or as a seller of scrap cargo, you also need to be updated with the industry trend,
right,
and what is happening in the market. How you read the market, how you decide that this is the best price which I can get at today's market.
Sure.
What are the parameters you see very specifically?
Yeah.
Some people, they refer iron ore features also.
Right.
They take reference of Turkish prices,
right,
for South Asia. Some people for Southeast Asia, they take reference of Japanese prices. Right. For our audience, sir,
sure,
is one question very specific. If you want to share, I mean, what is your idea, how you read the market, and when you actually go for sale of the cargo, and when you decide?
Sure, I think that's a very good point. And look, I don't think anyone's telling the truth if they say they always get it right, and we don't always get it right. And that's part of trading in any commodity. And it makes it a little more difficult in our world when we don't have an index to play around with. There is no scrap index. BigMint's trying to launch one, but globally there is no scrap index. So you have to really understand the key nuances on what's driving a particular market. And this is where relationships and discussions with customers really drive through. You land up speaking to customers almost on a daily basis. You learn to understand what's happening on the ground level in the market. How much rebar do they still have left at their plant? How much stock is lying at Kandla port? Is there some major shortage or shutdown of some iron ore production happening in India where the buyers might have to move to scrap for the next 2-3 months because a large iron ore supplier is not giving them local DRI. All these minor things do play a role. Demand prices, rebar prices. So I don't think it's one or two factors. I think it's a combination of various price points, quantitative data, qualitative data, experience over time, to come to some sort of understanding that, look, we feel now is a good time to sell. And we feel the market is at a good point where you can earn a profit. Or sometimes we might take a short position that, okay, sell it now because in the next few weeks we feel the market will cool down for A, B, C reasons. So to read that market, to get that sense of data and understanding, I think it takes a lot of experience. It takes a lot of discussions with customers, sellers as well. Turkey, like you mentioned, is a big driver of prices. I don't think there's a direct correlation between Turkish prices and Indian prices, but I do think there's a very strong relation in terms of market direction. If the Turkish market is going up, generally India will go up as well. So there's a good sense of understanding on what directional markets give you in terms of that as well. Chinese billet prices, what's happening out there. We're seeing that play a key role in the last 6 to 7 months. How much billet is China exporting into Southeast Asia? That's impacting the scrap market from the West Coast USA in the last 6 to 8 months. So these patterns and these points keep changing. I think we have to be very nimble on our way of thinking. We have to be in touch with our customers and buyers, keep picking up on various data points, qualitative, quantitative, and then you take the best decision based on experience on what that tells you to do.
Very specifically, when I was having one conversation with one major prominent supplier in India, he mentioned that we have an idea, from the source side or the exporting country side, that from a particular port or particular region, this many of bulk containers or bulk cargoes gets exported in a monthly basis.
Right.
There's a kind of general approximation they have. If there are changes in the exported cargoes or number of cargoes, let's suppose if US West Coast, they export 6 bulk cargoes every month, they have that kind of generation or stocking in their scrapyards.
Right.
If there is only there has been only 3 deals, only 3 cargoes moved from there, then there will be 9 cargoes that will be ready for next cycle.
Correct.
That will pressurize recyclers to reduce their prices. This is the one approximation, this is one indicator they have.
Right.
Can you just let us know, how you approximate the demand supply dynamics?
So again, good question. I think, look, most US recyclers or most companies, I don't think they hold on to cargoes for too long. These companies are too large who are doing bulk volumes. I'm not talking about the containerized players, but for the bulk volume players to sit on cargoes because they feel the market might turn for a long period of time becomes impossible. There's too much of liquidity in there. There's no physical space at the yard to keep such large cargoes, right? 35,000-40,000 tons of scrap is one cargo. Maybe you can keep 1.5 cargo at any given point in time. Beyond that, it becomes difficult on your berth or your jetty to keep so much material. So they have to keep selling as well. I don't know whether that's the correct estimate, just to say they sold 3, therefore now they have 6 to sell next month. It's still an opaque market to an extent. There are a lot of US West Coast recyclers. Give you a specific example. Donald Trump comes elected in January, puts all these tariffs out on protecting US steel production and aluminum production in the US. Suddenly, from 6 to 7 cargoes for the export market, there are only 1 or 2. 3 to 4 cargoes every month are going domestic. There are no steel mills located near US West Coast ports. Right? The steel mills are anywhere from 800 kilometers to 2,000 kilometers away. That scrap was still going there because US domestic prices shot through the roof in the month of March, April after the tariffs were announced. A lot of domestic material was going there, right? So now if you're just tracking your data that you mentioned to me, you are saying, okay, I'm only seeing 2 cargoes get sold. There's a negative of 7. Therefore, next month 9 should be coming, and therefore the prices will go down.
Yeah.
You have the exact opposite thing happen,
yeah.
right? 7 cargoes were domestic. If you're not tracking that metric, right? That's what I'm saying. You can't just track one metric of seeing only one thing. You got to understand what's happening macro level in the markets. You got to understand what's happening with tariffs today, what's happening with global restrictions of scrap, which country's putting what tariff, which country wants to put exports. All these things are playing into the hands of finding the correct time to sell or to buy. I think it's also, there are, having said that, there are also certain markets like Bangladesh where irrespective of the price they have to buy. They just need scrap. They don't have a substitute like DRI. They don't have a natural substitute like HBI or IOP. They have to buy scrap. So for them, they look at it almost on a 12-month period. That look, sometimes I'll buy high, sometimes I'll buy low. Over a period of 12 months, it averages out. And that's a great viewpoint to have. That if you have that mindset, that at some point you might lose a few dollars, another point you'll gain a few dollars. That is in a 1 or 2 year period, you know what, net, we're coming off okay. And we're still making profit in our steel production. That's fine. I think what happens is a lot of our Indian steel mills, they think they want to make profit on scrap, right? When they're in the steel manufacturing business. The focus should be on making profit on rebar. That is your main product. But they try to play the game in such a way that you also want to make a profit on scrap, trade some into the market, use some for your own steel purposes. And then the mindset says, okay, now how do I time the correct purchase or not? And then that at times can lead to somebody getting burnt in terms of pricing if you take a wrong call. But if the focus should be on, look, as long as I'm making profit on my final product, over a period of time, scrap markets move up or down, you'll be fine on average.
Last 5 years, if I see, there were a lot of changes in scrap sourcing side, especially the countries who were once a very prominent supplier. Now the volume has came down from those countries. There are some countries, Australia, New Zealand, especially Japan.
Correct.
In last 1-2 years, they are gaining a lot of prominence.
Correct.
Especially Southeast Asian countries.
Yes.
They are now started exporting scrap.
Right.
What are the changes which happened in last 2-3 years or 5 years, if down the line, if I...
Sure. Again, it's such a evolving market at such a fast pace in terms of global supply chain shifts. For a long period of time, Vietnam, who was a very large scrap buyer in Southeast Asia, didn't buy much scrap. Now, the reason behind that, because Chinese were importing billets into Vietnam. So the large mills were not using scrap; they're using semis, billets into their production. That happened for a long time. Now, one country like Vietnam stepping out of the scrap market means Japan, who was selling a large number of cargoes of scrap into Vietnam, has to find another buyer. So Japan, who do they find? Bangladesh. Right? If you look at the numbers in the last 9 months of Japanese scrap cargoes into Bangladesh, it's a record. They've also found new markets like India, East Coast. They're selling cargoes into India as well. Will this trend continue? I don't think so. Right? Vietnam again has put restrictions on Chinese billets. They put a 20% anti-dumping duty. Hofat has got a new furnace which is starting to get active this month. They've again bought cargoes in the last few months. Japan's again selling to them. So these things keep changing over a period of time. New markets come, new markets go. What is critical for India, and I'm going to look at it from the Indian perspective, the Indian lens, is we need to make sure that we have a reliable supply source available because the world is going to be net short of scrap. We're not going to have enough scrap over the next 10 years to supply every country's growing requirements of green steel, decarbonization, carbon emission targets. Scrap is the easiest, lowest hanging fruit that steel mills are using today. We're hearing at your conference today. If you have 3 or 4 of the largest integrated steel mills attending your conference today, why are they here? If this conference was held 2 or 3 years ago, not even one of those mills would be here today. But they're all attending today, right? Everyone knows who those 4 are. They're here. They're here because scrap is a big driver in the future for these large mills now to understand how they can reach their green steel targets. So India as a country, we need to understand that, look, if we are needing 50-60 million tons of scrap by 2030, we're still going to be short of 10 to 15 million tons. Where do I import that from? Right? Will Japan always keep providing me that scrap? Japan, we just heard that they're coming out of their own EAF production capacity increases in the next 5 years. Will Australia and New Zealand be a good source? Probably. I don't see much steel production coming in those countries, so Australia and New Zealand will probably be a good source to supply. Again, first priority Vietnam and Bangladesh. Third priority India. The European Union, CBAM and waste shipment rules, they're coming live next year. What's the impact going to be? I think it's going to be a significant impact on scrap from the EU coming into India. The US is one consistent supplier who's always believed in free trade or scrap. They've not put any tariffs. I don't see that happening as well. The UK is another good, reliable source. The Middle East has come down. They've got their own steel production coming up. So the Middle East is getting more and more scrap within their own domain. They don't want to export much scrap, especially to India. So these are all dynamics that are changing. It's such a fast space. You're right. For the last 15, 20 years, we had the same sources of supply. But it's changing. And it's going to keep changing as tariffs keep changing, as countries put more restrictions. It's critical for Indian mills to look beyond just a spot market. It's critical for Indian mills to look at strategic assets down the road, where are good areas to invest in to make sure their scrap supply is not disrupted.
So, sir, why wars are happening? Very unfortunate, to be honest, for the global fraternity. Some people see it as an opportunity also. So there will be steel requirement to rebuild those infrastructure, those nations. A lot of scraps will also come out of those reasons. Turkey is one of the major steel suppliers in that region. Do you see going forward, Turkey's steel production will improve and a lot of scrap will flow towards Turkey, and then again the scenario which used to happen I think 3 to 4 years ago in India, and when we were able to import only 4 to 5 million pieces of scrap. Do you see it coming to the India, that scenario coming to India in next 3-4 years or 2-3 years?
It's a very difficult question to answer. Generally, unfortunately, when there is a war zone or a conflict, we've seen post that there is scrap generated in that region. If the Ukraine-Russia war, for example, were to end soon, then there might be a little more scrap generated in that region. Turkey would probably be the biggest benefactor of receiving that scrap due to close proximity to both those countries, or the Black Sea, and making sure that they can get access to those cargoes. Turkey's steel production could go up, but again, it's a short-term thing. I don't see how mid to long-term the overall dynamics could be impacted by sudden a surge of scrap being available for a short period of time in a war zone country. I don't see it tilting the apple cart too much.
Okay.
It might have a short-term effect, like as I said in March, April, Trump's tariffs suddenly drove the US domestic ferrous scrap industry $100 per ton higher in a 1 week period. But again, it's cooled off over 3 months and come back to normalcy. So if something like that happens, you certainly might see a surge of supply of scrap coming for 1 to 3 months. But then again, the markets will find their own feet. I don't think that's too much of a concern for Indian buyers. We can't plan for things that are not in our control. That's a big uncertainty. It might or might not happen that so much scrap can come into the market. It'll have minimal impact on the Indian buying scenario.
Can you recall any one incident that there was a bad deal? In scrap business, usually people say it very horrible experience. Scrap is a very expensive commodity to trading.
Right.
But there are certain stances that when from buyer side or from seller side, there are mishappenings. Have you encountered any such situation in your career? And how you sell through it?
Right.
What was the learning?
So look, I've been here almost 20 years, and touch wood, due to, as I said, good relations, strong relations, almost all our deals have been great. We deal with, as a company ethos, as a company policy, we deal with very few suppliers and we deal with very few buyers. But the suppliers are really big, the buyers are really big. We don't tend to deal with the smaller players, with all due respect to them. It's just not the way our company deals with. So we built these relationships with these large suppliers, large customers who sort of honor all their contracts and deals in markets that are strong and markets that are not. We have suppliers who will sell good quality material. But I will say that, yes, there's one specific experience I remember when I just moved back in 2008. In January 2008, scrap had reached $850, $800 a ton. It's the highest that I've ever seen it. I don't think it's been higher than that ever. And the world was just, booming in Jan 2008. Everything was on fire. Markets were on fire. People thought scrap was going to hit $1,000. And then the Lehman Brothers collapse and the financial crisis started in June, July. And by August, it was an absolute mess. And customers who had bought scrap from us at $700, $600, $500 just disappeared overnight. There were a lot of container sales at that time, and people just disappeared. That was a learning I had early in my career. It was a definite push hit to my young business career, being back only 2 years and seeing such a crazy collapse in prices. The lowest deal was then at $150 a ton in September 2008. So from 800 we hit $150 a ton. Those markets and those times were very difficult, but one of the key learnings we had at that time was, look, we'd rather deal with good people who, of course, everyone faces challenges, but you find a way through it. You find a common ground and say, okay, look, we've all lost money. How can we work through it and make sure we recover together as well? But some customers were like, they just disappeared. So I think the biggest learning for us was, look, making sure we deal with the correct people who match your business ethic, who match your business wavelength. And yes, we will face tough times. You'll see very happy times also. But in those tough times, let's jointly work together to make sure that we both come out okay on the other side. Those are customers that are customers even today now.
I think the same thing may have happened during COVID days also.
I'll tell you exactly. During COVID, all our customers worked with us through those challenges. And every customer stuck to their contractual commitments. Yes, they might have asked for a few delays in shipments. Yes, they might have asked for, rollovers in the schedule, etc. But not a single customer of ours said, look, India is locked down, we can't deal with the material, or we don't want it. Damage bills were mutually settled, shipments were delayed, but every customer was honored their contracts.
A lot of work is going on here in domestic market here in India to build infrastructure on the recycling side.
Right.
EPR, government is thinking about it. Let's bring it in ferrous side also.
Correct.
Non-ferrous, we already have EPRs. ELV recycling policy, one MBCS policy, I will say. Government is also working to recycle. They're trying to make mandates without hurting consumers. How do you see demand-supply balance? Do you see that imports will be irrelevant in next 5 years because a lot of domestic scrap will be coming? Or do you see that there will be requirement and there will be shortfall? Or you have any perspective means any metallics is going to fill that gap? Just want to have a short.
I think every study that we've done, including MRAI with the Steel Ministry, all show that there will be a shortfall of scrap over the next decade as well. And therefore, we've pushed the government to reduce the import duty from 2.5 to 0%. MRAI worked very hard on that. I think 2-3 years ago it became 0. And the government has said, look, we'll support you on this because we realize India is going to be a net importer of ferrous scrap. So I don't see that changing. India will always be short on scrap. Structurally, domestically, things have changed a lot in terms of the domestic eco-recycling system, in terms of having policies in place, frameworks in place. But unfortunately, the policy that was envisioned 2, 3, 4 years ago, whether that's a vehicle scrappage policy or the steel scrap policy, we've not really seen it take off in the way that we wanted it to by 2025. And everyone knows the reasons why, I think. I think there are a couple of reasons holding back those policies. The government's intention was perfect. The government's policies were good. But the ground reality is that there are some GST issues. There's a parallel market also, which is very thriving today in terms of selling used automobiles that are not coming to the official registered RVSFs. So until the government plugs these leakages and comes up with some certain new changes that can block the unorganized sector from thriving, when the organized sector has invested millions of dollars in land, machinery, latest technology for RVSFs, since you're specifically talking about that, I think it's very important to have policy support from the government to make sure that a wonderful policy that was this vehicle scrappage one, where the intent was so good by Mr. Gadkari and his ministry, that we have to make sure it's a success. We cannot let such a policy fail. The stakes are just too large. Where are we going to get our scrap from as a country? The vehicle scrappage policy was to supply scrap to our domestic mills. So we have to ensure that if you want your carbon emission targets to be met, your green steel targets to be met, scrap has to be there. Raw material security domestically has to be there. EPR, specifically talking about that, is a wonderful tool. I am very for EPR. EPR in batteries, tires, plastics, and e-waste is already there. EPR in various other products will come over the next 10 years, including on steel, etc. It's already starting to come in the next few years. So I'm a big believer in EPR. I think EPR does two things. One is it secures your domestic recycling sector for requirements of its own raw materials. But two is it's also going to give massive opportunity for new businesses and entrepreneurs to enter that space. Young businesses or young entrepreneurs who want to think of recycling as a future business opportunity. EPR is a policy that's going to help you set up a new business. Use AI today, use blockchain, use latest digital technology, and enter the world of e-waste recycling, enter the world of battery recycling. These are huge opportunities that are going to come. It's a sunrise sector. It's a new sector. And I think the EPR policy is a game changer for our country, and it's going to make sure that circular economy, using recyclable materials, all these objectives are going to be met through the EPR policy, not only for steel, but for various other commodities I just mentioned.
I was just coming to that question only. If you get a chance to advise or to give your feedback to the government, what is one policy change they should bring for the recycling sector?
So I think, again, as I said, EPR is great. It's a wonderful policy. Unfortunately, there isn't just one thing, because every product that has EPR has certain very unique particular issues related to that product. So the issues on EPR related to tire are very different from the issues being faced for EPR related to e-waste or EPR related to battery. Everyone is unique in their own way. So the only advice and request I have, not the advice, it's a request to the government that, look, let's sit down together as MRAI, as industry players. Let's go through EPR for each of these products that's there. Let's identify the 2-3 leakages and pain points, and let's find solutions for those. For some people, it's GST mismatch rates. For some people, it's the EPR credits is a problem. For other people, there's not enough raw material coming in. They've set up these e-waste recycling facilities. There's not enough e-waste coming in. RVSFs have the same issue. So everyone has got their own little particular nuanced issues, which are solvable. It's going to take some time. It's going to sit down with the government and with each ministry to find these common grounds where we can plug these loopholes. And I'm confident that the EPR policy can be a huge success. So if you ask me if there's one thing the government should focus on, is making EPR a success. If we can do that, the entire recycling circular economy landscape in India will change.
Great. So beyond ferrous scrap, if I ask, what are the new recycling trends? Like there are e-waste recycling coming up, ELV is coming up, plastics is already
sure.
EV batteries.
What
will be your favorite commodity and where you want to invest in future?
So I am very bullish about EPR in general. I think it's going to give a lot of opportunities. The two specific areas that we as Nathani Group are focusing on and we will be investing in is we're seriously considering opportunities in tire recycling and in RVSFs. I think you could actually make a business case to enter any of these commodities. But we've done our studies, looked at our team strengths that we have, we've looked at opportunities in markets, and we've identified these two areas, tire and RVSFs, as something we'll be seriously looking at to invest in going forward and diversifying the group and growing it further.
In recycling value chain, there are 2-3 stages.
Right.
One is collection networks. In Europe, you will find a lot of collection centers. They send this material to a recycling yards.
Right.
They use a lot of shredders or baling machines, sorting machines, and then segregate it based upon the grades and sizes. There is another value chain which is on recycling technologies, digitization, tools. Third aspect is trading.
Right.
If anyone, any new entrepreneur who is entering into the recycling market, what will be a piece of advice for them that in which segment they should invest at this current time?
So I think you are looking at, I would say trading is something that was very good in the 90s and 2000s. We're traders predominantly, but you enter the trading space because you didn't have opportunities in processing and recycling and all of that. But if the government is giving you a framework and giving you a policy that supports people actually becoming recyclers, then why not do that? Why not actually set up a yard? Why not actually become a recycler, whether it's in EV batteries or in tire or in plastics or in RVSF. I think that's the way to go for any young entrepreneur. Look, today, I think India is blessed as a country where financing is not an issue. If you have a good business idea and you have a good business proposal, you will get people to back you up, right? There is enough funds available from green banks, from private entrepreneurs, from family offices, from venture capitalist funds, all looking at the recycling scape from the outside. Here we are inside that space. So the minute you come in and you have a good business case and you have a good vision, but you don't have the funds, I think that's the easiest to solve for. You will get the money to back you up. So don't worry about taking the plunge into becoming a recycler directly. The market's very young, the opportunities are huge, government support is there. So I would maybe not enter trading and all these other things which have been going on for years. What additional value will you add as becoming a trader today? There are enough traders in the market. Become a recycler, become a first generation recycler, set up your own yard, enter recycling yourself. I think that's what we need.
Do you want to say something about MRAI?
Sure.
I have seen you in a lot of conferences. Flag bearer of MRAI, I will say. You're Vice President of Metal Recycling Association of India.
Right.
One of the most prominent association, I will say. If I see the global recycling industry,
Right.
there are very few names. The Bureau of Indian International Recycling, BMR, PIR, and then comes MRAI. There is very significant and prominent place you heard Ken in recent years.
Right.
Do you want to say something about the journey, your objective?
Right.
What are the future plans, near future plans?
So look, I mean, MRAI started, as I briefly mentioned earlier, as Metal Recycling Association of India. It was actually started in our office. The MRAI office used to be sitting in my conference room by my father, Zain Nathani, who was the founder. And the vision back then was very different. The vision was, look, let's get under one roof a group of like-minded recyclers, because we never really spoke to each other beyond meeting at few conferences, etc. We never worked together on one goal of promoting recycling in India. So the aim at that time was, we don't have a good reputation with the government. They don't treat us as businessmen, entrepreneurs. They're treating you as a kabadiwala.
Yeah.
Let's go to the government, let's tell them who we are, let's tell them the recycling story, let's work with them. So back then, 11, 12 years ago, when MRAI started as Metal Recycling Association of India, we got a few ferrous people together, a few non-ferrous people together, and we started the journey. Over the years, the mandate actually changed. Niti Aayog is the one who guided us and said, look, you need to change your name from MRAI. You're doing such a good job with ferrous and non-ferrous recyclers. Why not increase your gambit to also include paper recycling, textile recycling, glass recycling, e-waste, tire, battery, and so on. So we changed our name about 4 or 5 years ago to Material Recycling Association of India. We added a whole bunch more commodity streams. The association has grown. I must give credit where it's due. Mr. Sanjay Mehta, our current president, is the driving force behind MRAI. We have a wonderful team. Dhaval Shah is my senior vice president. Naveen Sharma is my fellow vice president. Amar Singh is our secretary general. We have a wonderful team in Bombay and Delhi who work very hard in terms of promoting recycling, in terms of liaisoning with the government on policies, in frameworks, on BS standards. There's so much work that goes on behind the scenes. You see one simple result saying, new SIMS policy announced by Ministry of Steel that reduces the SIMS filing date for 2 days for scrap recyclers. That policy, that simple policy, took almost 2.5 months of back of the scene work by the MRAI team to work with the Ministry of Steel and DGFT to tell them the problems that the recyclers were facing with the SIMS issue. So these are things that the MRAI is very involved in, from small issues that industry is facing, like a SIMS matter, to very large scale thinking of what is the next EPI policy needed by our country? What is the next BIS standard needed by our country? So MRAI is working on various committees with the government, with Niti Aayog. We're very actively involved. We are recognized as the Apex National Association by the government and the ministry. And I think the vision is to keep growing in that direction, to keep getting more recyclers involved in India, to promote circular economy, to promote responsible recycling, and to really gain more awareness with the general public that, what do recyclers do? Why is recycling important? Why is circular economy important? We keep organizing awareness conferences and programs. We just had one program in Vietnam. We have another very large annual conference in Jaipur in January 2026, where 3,500 delegates are expected at that. So the aim is to get industry leaders together, industry delegates together, ministry officials together to promote recycling and circular economy.
I was missing one question from BigMint side,
Right.
BigMint business side, I will say. How do you see price indexing in recycling side coming up in next 5 years? Is there any changes in the market, or will the corporates who are moving towards very organized workflows, if I say, do you think from the recycling side, I think this will be relevant?
Should we take this as the last question? I firstly congratulate BigMint. I just also met today that the data quality that BigMint collects, you have left the competition so far behind. Your consistency to deliver excellence in data and reporting is compared to none. You'll have reached such a good level, and you should always maintain that integrity in data. The biggest thing that keeps you apart today as BigMint is the integrity in data. And if that integrity in data can be translated into an index that is reliable, then it's something that could work. It's a challenge. Nobody's been able to crack the code. A lot of people have tried it. A lot of exchanges have tried it in the past. But if somebody can crack that code on getting prompt, quick data in a reliable manner, I think, as I said, the steel market is still opaque, and it's opaque in terms of deals done are not reported immediately. They're reported after a few days. So when you have a price index, you need it to be real time. So how do you get over that to make sure that your data is reliable and integral? And if you crack that, then an index could work. It could work.
Do you want to share any feedback for India Ferrous Week 2025?
That's
Sorry, I want to take this, appreciation, but we really look forward to the industry feedback to improve our services, to be honest. We are very young, we're growing. The only objective is to support market people with our informed decisions. Still, I think there is long way to go.
Right.
Just starting, we just started. And sure, the industry's guidance that motivates us to work on a day-on-day basis. One last question, sir. Any feedbacks for India Ferrous Week 2025? How was your?
I think it's been a great day so far. Wonderful sessions, very interactive, very engaging, very educational. The turnout numbers speak for themselves. It's a packed audience out here, very eager audience, very diversified audience of very countries, a lot of actual manufacturers coming in. So huge kudos to BigMint. I think India Ferrous Week should become an annual calendar marquee event in the conference calendar, and I hope you'll continue doing that. Continue the good work. Sumit, Dhruv and the whole team are doing such a fantastic job. I love coming here because I get to not only network with people and not only attend sessions, but the publications and the data that you all give are very thought-provoking, very real and very impactful, which I can use in my business. So keep doing that, and congrats and all the best.